The kid is backstage mentally preparing for his performance. He's the front man of The Revolution, a featured band at the First Avenue nightclub. They take the stage and begin their act. Meanwhile, New Orleans girl Apollonia arrives in town. She stiffs a taxi driver on his fare and escapes into the alley. She is broke. That looked like about $140 at most. She sneaks into the nightclub and goes into paper chasing mode. She know how to swing them hips and evaporate them lips. The Revolution is still rocking the crowd and Apollonia is fascinated by the kid. He's singing about searching for purple bananas before getting thrown in a truck. And to this day, I still don't know what that shit means. Morris leaves his apartment and is directed into the awaiting car by his male servant Jerome. They arrive at the club and Stacey Adams hit the pavement. Morris checks his flyness before entering. Inside, the Revolution is wrapping up their set. Morris fronts the headliner, The Time. They're about to show the Revolution how it's done. The group is a more polished act. They got synchronized moves, established routines. They shit is tight. They even got a dance crew planted in the crowd. As Apollonia is enjoying the show, the kid spots her and she spots the kid. It's a Mexican standoff. Kid navigates behind Apollonia and takes up the classic serial killer stalking position. He's staring a hole into the back of her head, obviously trying to get chose. Apollonia finally gets the courage to address the kid, but that cat is long gone. The kid arrives home and approaches the entrance. It sounds like Friday night fights up in that junk. Inside, he finds his dad, Francis L., going off on moms for being too tired to clean, yet having the energy to set it off in them streets. The kid tries to play peacemaker. He shouldn't have done that cause his pop slap game is strong. Strong like he spent his weekend slapping trees or something. The kid got his 120-pound ass slapped across the room. However, that seemed to have pacified his pop's anger. Job well done, kid. Now go put some ice on that jaw. The club owner Billy is having a discussion with Morris about the kid. The kid has gotten too comfortable in his position and is blowing off meetings. Morris thinks that the kid is going down the same path as his father, another burnt-out failed musician. Billy is looking to add a spark to the club's lineup. He suggests the idea that Morris form a girls group. Morris agrees on the condition that their success means that the kid is taken out of the lineup. Morris is auditioning a duo for the group, but that ain't going nowhere. The rehearsals are not going well. You got girls who can sing but can't move, a girl who can move but can't sing. Afterwards, Morris and Jerome leave the studio and the idea of adding Apollonia as the missing centerpiece is considered. The guys are cut off by one of Morris's jump-offs. She starts to yapping. As she pauses to take a breath, Jerome grabs her and dumps her in the trash. That was all fair play in the 80s. The 80s were strange, man. The kid finally shows up late to the club to meet with Billy and Morris. They're gone. The waitress gives the kid a demo tape from his band members, Lisa and Wendy. He seems pissed that they used the waitress as a messenger instead of shopping their song to him directly. He then hooks up with Apollonia and the two hang out. He immediately begins to get into her head by staking claim to her possessions. This is followed by distancing her from any previous connections. That's pimping 101, baby. The kid already got her following him around like a puppy dog, and this ain't even an official date. The kid admires the guitar on display. I thought he was going to tell her to smash the window and steal it. I think she would have done it too. He tells Apollonia to hop on his bike and the two ride off. They travel through the scenic beauty of Minnesota, aka the land of ticks and mosquitoes. The kid drives her to a remote spot. The kid learns that Apollonia desperately wants to get into show business. He seems a little turned off by it. Don't seem like he's interested in being a mentor. The kid encourages Apollonia to pass an initiation. Old girl is down for whatever if it's gonna get her a step ahead. She doesn't hesitate to pop out the girls and dive into the freezing lake. She soon finds out that the kid held back on the fine details of the initiation. The lake that she just dove into isn't the lake required to pass the initiation. She gets all angry, but she quickly calms down after the kid downplays it as a goof. Now this was the first chance of many that she missed to set some boundaries with this cat. She joins him on the bike, soaking wet, in the cold, about to travel at high speed. Sounds like the recipe for pneumonia to me. He's definitely trying to kill her. Another night, another show. Morris tells Jerome to alert him whenever Apollonia enters the club. He plans to recruit her for his girl group. In the dressing room of the Revolution, there's an uneasy quiet. Wendy solicits the kid's opinion about her and Lisa's demo tape. He gives her the silent treatment. Wendy is done with them not giving their music a listen, and she lets him have it. Kid remains non-responsive. Cat might have slipped into a vegetative state. Maybe they should check his sugar levels. The kid finally breaks his silence, using his pop-up puppet as a mouthpiece. Wendy and Lisa don't find it funny and exit the room. The kid asks the other band members whether they want to leave too. Dr. Fink is a grown-ass man with bills to pay. He knows better to buck the breadwinner. As the room empties, the kid pops the demo tape into the box and listens. The shit's kinda catchy and appears to spark something within him. Jerome spots Apollonia in the crowd and alerts Morris. Morris goes over and introductions are made. He begins to push up on her. He doesn't realize she responds more to humiliation, like the kid laid down on her. Morris is spitting his best game, and she's laughing. That's not a good sign. Before taking the stage, the kid spots Morris and Apollonia at their table. While Morris is in mid-sentence, the MC rock blocks him as he introduces the revolution. The kid goes into his performance. The lyrics of the song seem to appeal directly to the brief relationship between Apollonia and the kid. He targets his attention right towards Apollonia. Morris sits at her side, defenseless. It ain't a fair fight. That cat got a microphone. He don't. Kid challenges Apollonia's commitment, tightening that pimp grip like a python. Give a little, take a lot. Old girl starts to crack. Backstage, the Revolution celebrate upstaging Morris. Billy ain't happy with the kid's abbreviated performance. Billy getting a bad return on investment. Apollonia is all soft and wet. She's waiting out back like a groupie. Kid tells her to hop on and they ride off. This time he takes her back to his crib. He spies on his folks making out on the couch. Pop knows that couch sex is better than bed sex. The kid takes Apollonia to his room in the basement of the house. Now I got my criminal knowledge from the ID channel and I'm telling you, this kid's pad got serial killer written all over it. Freaky ass mask and figurines hanging up on the wall and a bunch of candles. The kid disappears into a closet and then comes up from behind to startle Apollonia. A recording of a woman crying is being played in reverse. He then tries to take her down with some light hypnosis. Next thing you know, they're talking about how quarterbacks used to take the ball under center. I'm pretty sure that's what was happening here. The kid didn't really have to put in much effort because she wanted him just as much as he wanted her, if not more. Lisa and Wendy are practicing their song when the kid shows up. He tells them that they can drop that shit because it ain't getting added to the group's rotation. That cat is basically daring them to quit the band. Morris and Jerome ambush Apollonia as she leaves her hotel. Morris has got a proposition, a song written just for her. Apollonia tells him that she's rolling with the kid. This is funny to Morris because the kid can't even share the spotlight with his own band members. Morris manages to get Apollonia to at least consider becoming a member in his new group. It must be Friday night again, because at the kid's house, the fights are back on. The fight spills all the way down to the basement. Mama's still parading herself around in them streets when she should be addressing them dirty clothes overflowing in the hamper. Daddy running shit tight like a drill sergeant, and Mama is on the verge of going AWOL. Things boil over. Mama was looking for the right hand, but he caught her with the left this time. Old boy switched up and went southpaw. In the aftermath, he hit her up with, "See what you went and made me do?" Now, if we're forced to take a positive out of this, the kid did have a moment of inspiration from his dad's words. The kid tries to get some sleep, but here comes Apollonia through the basement window. She comes with a present though. Kid opens it up and it's the guitar that he admired in the window display from before. This is a woman that pays attention. Might have to keep her around another week. Of course, the kid had to find out how her broke ass bought a guitar. Gotta make sure she didn't steal that shit. Can't be in a room full of people playing a hot guitar. Apollonia takes the moment to deliver the news that she's gonna join Morris's girl group. So the guitar was to butter him up, huh? Feed the tiger before you enter the cage. Let me tell you, this cat didn't even ask for no explanation or nothing. He went straight upside her head. You know what they say, pimp hand don't fall far from the tree. Kid tried to clean up his mess, and even though Apollonia was still dizzy, she wasn't dizzy enough to know that she was under a pimp's hand. She got the hell up out of there. The next day, the kid shows up to rehearsal, and there's no Lisa and no Wendy. The revolution is falling apart. The kid gets called to Billy's office. Billy has already gotten wind about Lisa and Wendy's absence. This, along with all of the other shit, Billy about ready to cut the kid loose. He tells him that Morris done put together another act that's gonna put butts in seats. A new act means that one of the existing acts at the club is gonna get dropped. He looking at you, kid. The kid arrives home and Mama done been kicked to the curb, and it ain't even Friday yet. He goes inside full of anger, ready to get pimp slapped by his dad again. He finds his old man at the piano, playing some beautiful chords. The kid asks his father about the compositions and whether he can get some. You know, throw a player a bone. His father kinda stunts on him and tells him that his shit comes off the dome. He don't have to write shit down. When the kid finally gets around to asking about mom out there, his pop drops a gem on him. He tells him don't ever get hitched. Another performance by the Revolution. Morris arrives and has to convince Apollonia to go inside. She's still trying to protect the kid's feelings. She don't want to be saved. Morris and Apollonia take their seat at Billy's table. The Revolution is on stage playing some freaky shit. The kid is going through his erotic antics on stage. Billy ain't feeling it. This is a nightclub, player, not some Amsterdam live sex show. Trying to get my club shut down? The kid breaks into some gyrations and then he slid into doing the Raj dance like he was on What's Happening. He locks in on Apollonia and appeals to her fragile heart and her fragile mind. She breaks down yet again and runs off. The kid hangs around for a little longer on stage to dry hump an amplifier for about a minute or so, and then he runs off stage. Billy follows him back into the dressing room. Billy ain't gonna let this cat ruin his spot. Kid's childish outbursts don't work on Billy. You can't pimp a pimp pimping. Billy tells him that the gig is almost up. He's gonna have to find somewhere else to hump musical equipment. Billy draws the parallel that the kid is troubled, just like his dad, and that he's headed down the same sorry path. After Billy leaves, Jerome stops by to invite the kid to Apollonia's debut the next night. The walls are closing in on the kid. The Michael Jackson versus Prince argument usually started out friendly, but ended up in a bad place. It started out with someone saying, "Man, Prince was so talented."
Yeah, but Mike is the biggest entertainer in the world. It ain't even close. Thriller won 8 Grammys, most ever for an album. Plus it sold 70 million, another record. What did Purple Rain do? 1 Grammy, sold about what? 1-2 million?
Actually, it won 3 Grammys and sold 25 million. But you gotta realize, Mike had them folk pushing him hard on MTV. Prince was never marketed for the masses. Cat was never trying to go pop. See, Prince was an artist. He wrote, composed, performed, and produced all his music. I mean, if you take away Berry Gordy, Quincy Jones, and Tito from Mike, what you got left? A dancer. You know, Prince could play over 100 instruments too.
I can play 100 instruments. It don't mean I can play them well, but I can play them. See, Mike didn't just have an effect on music, he moved the culture. Dance, film and video, fashion. Come on, man, don't act like you own some penny loafers and a members-only jacket. I mean, folks weren't trying to dance or look like Prince. I mean, your boy is on stage wearing panties and high heels.
Yep, I knew that was coming. Oh, that was a costume, man. But I do know this. Every time I saw Prince, he had one of the baddest chicks around on his arm. Meanwhile, your boy out here carrying Webster around like a damn teddy bear. What part of the game is that? I can find that nowhere in the player's handbook.
Mike and Will, that's just 2 child celebrities with a lot in common hanging out. Nothing more, nothing less. So, you and Prince bag your draws from the same stove?
And at this point, the fists would start flying. All jokes aside, both were musical geniuses. It's just that Prince was better. It's the next night, and Morris is ready to debut his new group. Apollonia's 6 hit the stage and begin their performance. Oh shit, didn't nobody tell me I needed to bring some ones up in this joint. Kid slides into the club from the kitchen trying to hang back in the shadows. Morris catches him over there watching the act. The crowd approves of the performance. The girls finish up and collect them ones. Apollonia notices the kid and she's still choosing. She don't want to be saved. Billy warns the kid that he better bring his best shit out the next performance, or else. Morris and Apollonia walk back to the car, high off of their success. Morris makes his intentions known that the night is just beginning. Suddenly, they hear the growl of an engine. The kid tries to run Morris over, knocking him into the garbage. The kid orders Apollonia to get on. Now she just got her jaw put back in place, so she complies. He drives her to an overpass. Apollonia senses that this cat has a bad disposition and begins to back up. She takes out her flask to the kid's disapproval. He chastises her, but she stands her ground. She goes for a swig to take off the edge of his pimping, and old boy went upside her head again. After knocking her to the ground, he assumed the ground and pound position. She told him to go ahead. Not the go ahead, cause I'm gonna bring back some of that action to you, but the go ahead, I give up. The kid restrains himself. I guess he figured that he can't take a chance of breaking his knuckle when he's got a big show the next night to save his career. Apollonia throws her love earring at him and jets. The kid returns home and something's off. The door is ajar and the house is a wreck. His dad is in the hallway, and he's holding a jammy. As the kid flicks the light switch, the gun goes off. Pops tried to flat his own line. After the police question the kid, his mind begins to wander all over the place. He even thought about abracadabraing himself. The kid throws a fit, knocking shit over. He comes across a bunch of written compositions. Apparently, his pops did keep record of his music. The kid gathers the compositions and begins to play them at the piano. It's the night of the big show. The quiet in the Revolution's dressing room is enhanced given the circumstances with the kid's dad. On stage, the time is bringing down the house. The bird dance walked so that the Humpty dance could run. After the set, Morris and the guys walk past the Revolution's dressing room, loudly mocking the band. Morris runs over the kid and then puts it in reverse and bags over him as he delivers a verbal kick in the nuts, joking about the kid's pops fighting for his life. Quickly upon reflection, even Morris realizes that shit was way across the line. All right, Revolution, you're up. The kid takes the stage and the whole place is silent. Crowd is looking at him like a restaurant greeter looks at you when you show up 10 minutes before they're about to close. Billy's in the back, just waiting for the kid to fuck up his last opportunity. The kid addresses his pop's situation. He then announces that their first song will be a composition by Lisa and Wendy. They begin to perform the song Purple Rain, and the crowd is mesmerized. The kid goes into his guitar solo. He's doing the Chuck Berry move, the Jimi Hendrix wind up, all of that good shit. The Revolutionists got the crowd waving their arms in the air like they just don't care. I'll be damned if Billy ain't over there crying. The kid wraps up the song and jets off to the dressing room. He expects to hear boos, or at least a mild reception, but instead he hears the roar of the crowd. He heads back to the stage, surrounded by a crowd of fans. At the end of the line is Apollonia. She's all weak in the knees, and this time not from a punch, but from adoration. She don't want to be saved. The Revolution began their encore performance. During the performance, we see several events take place. The kid visiting his parents in the hospital, his pops still alive, for now. The kid arranging and organizing his dad's compositions. The kid and Apollonia reuniting in his basement. Back to the show. Crowd is hyped. Billy out here dancing. Even Morris and Jerome are in the crowd, about to throw their draws on the stage. The kid does a lick my chest, lick my ass, lick my balls dance move across the stage. And then he climaxes the performance with an ejaculating guitar. Now that's a serial killing pimp for you.